Welcome back to BilyonaryoQuizB, the quiz show that challenges the brightest young minds in the country. I'm David Celdran, your quiz master. And in our second semifinals match, we are pitting our top contestants from the past 3 elimination episodes against each other to determine who will move on to our grand finals in just a couple of months. Indeed, who knows, BilyonaryoQuizB's first ever grand champion may just come from today's fresh batch of semifinalists. So let's bring them out and meet them. Let's begin with contestant number 1. Our first semi-finalist has proven himself on this stage with his remarkable memory and knowledge across all subject categories in BQB. So everyone say hello to this BA Development Studies student and student government member of De La Salle University, Javier Ignacio Fernandez. Welcome back, Javier. It's good to see you again. I love that. I love that bow. All right. Next, we have a quiet force of intellectual curiosity and precision, a former National Science Quiz Bee champion and DOST Merit Scholar. Semi-finalist number 2 now studies BS Agricultural Biotechnology with a focus on animal biotech at UP Los Baños. So everyone give it up for Aian Kirt Landicho. Yep, the young man with the great voice. All right, I was wondering what you're doing. Okay. All right, no points for that, Aian, sorry. Okay, our last semi-finalist is a lifelong quiz competitor and science communicator with a deep fascination for the earth beneath our feet. He's a 4th-year geology student at UP Diliman, and his journey into the science of natural disasters was sparked by the 2020 Taal eruption. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to BQB, Alan, Gabriel, Gabby, Fetalvo. All right. Welcome back, Gabby. I knew you were gonna try something new this time around. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, choose your fighter. These contenders are all set to duke it out for the spotlight, for huge cash prizes, and of course, the bragging rights as our second BilyonaryoQuizB grand finalist. But before we dive into the competition, let's first clarify the rules of this semi-final match. Each BilyonaryoQuizB semifinal episode raises the stakes for our weekly winners with increasingly challenging questions testing different aspects of their knowledge in history, science and technology, arts and literature, math and logic, geography and nature, and general information. As in our regular episodes, the questions will be read out here in the BQB studio. Unlike our viewers at home, however, our students do not have the advantage of reading the questions on screen. So contestants, listen very carefully. After 2 grueling rounds, only the contestants with the highest score will move on to today's bonus round, and ultimately to the Battle Royale of Wits and Reflexes at the BilyonaryoQuizB Season 1 Grand Finals. But first, he or she must survive round 1. We begin with 12 questions worth 2,000 pesos each. The first contestant to buzz gets to answer. Correct answers earn money points, while incorrect answers give the remaining opponents a chance to steal. It's time for our weekly winners to duke it out in round number 1. Let the BilyonaryoQuizB semifinals begin. Oh yeah, this is exciting. It's the semifinals. We're looking for one more slot in our grand finals coming up soon in a couple of months. Now remember, contestants, after buzzing in, you have to wait for me first to acknowledge you as the right person buzzing first. Otherwise, you might blurt out your answer and give away that answer for free. Now you don't want that, okay? So be careful and let's go on to our first round. We'll start with history in round number 1. In what Asian city did the so-called Umbrella Revolution take place? Aian?
Hong Kong.
That is correct. It was Hong Kong. Took place in 2014. I think you all knew that, but Aian was first. Let's go to our next question. Oh, by the way, umbrella, because that's what they use to protect themselves from of course, the projectiles and, of course, the tear gas and other things that were thrown at them by the security forces. So go to next question, science and technology. While in the bath, who reportedly exclaimed, "Eureka"? Aian again.
Archimedes.
That's right, Archimedes. On discovering the principle of water displacement. Again, you all knew that answer, but you're gonna have to be quick to the draw. Let's go to our next question. Question number 3 is arts and literature. The first Google Doodle honoring a Filipino includes an illustration of him at work and that of a romantic couple in a faraway kingdom. Who was this Filipino literary icon? The first Google Doodle. Gabby?
Napoleon Abueva.
Napoleon Abueva, the sculptor? No. Javier, try it.
Guillermo Tolentino.
That's also wrong. Time's up. Francisco Balagtas, also known as Francisco Baltazar. Of course, we all know him for his Florante at Laura, and that was the work that I was describing. Couple in a faraway kingdom, Florante at Laura. Next question. For 2,000 points still, math and logic. What anagram of latitude is a term for the height of a triangle or an object? Aian.
Altitude.
Correct, altitude. An anagram, of course, means rearranging letters to form a different word. And if you were to rearrange altitude, you get latitude, right? Think about it, latitude from altitude. Next question. Question number 5 is geography and nature. Once the apex predator of the oceans. Javier.
The Great White Shark.
Again?
Great White. No.
Sorry, great white shark was your answer. Wrong.
Great White Shark.
Once, Gabby wants to steal.
Megalodon.
Megalodon is the answer. Once the apex predator of the oceans, what massive prehistoric creature is a subject of such Hollywood films such as The Black Demon, Leviathan, and The Meg? You took a risk. It's okay, Javier. But of course, sometimes it pays to finish the question. Let's go to our next question. According to our Constitution, this is in general information, if you want to become president of the Philippines, you must be at least how many years old? Gabby was first.
40 years old.
Yes, it is 40 years old. You have to be at least 40 years old on election day. Okay, next question in history. So this is a picture quiz. I'll be asking you to look at our screens, and I'll give you a clue describing this picture. So, here it is. What is a popular two-word title of the landmark book? Javier?
Baybayin.
Again?
Baybayin.
Baybayin. No. Aian?
Doctrina Christiana.
Yes, it is the Doctrina Christiana. Popular two-word title of the landmark book that contains this particular page among so many other pages. It was the Doctrina Christiana, one of the two earliest books printed in the Philippines in 1593. Next question is in science and technology. First used in 2018 and abbreviated as FH, what powerful space launch rocket was partly named after a legendary vehicle in the Star Wars film franchise? FH. FH. Spaceship starts with FH. Javier?
Millennium Falcon.
No. Aian?
Falcon Heavy.
Yes, Falcon Heavy. After the Millennium Falcon of Han Solo, Falcon or SpaceX Falcon would have been the correct answer. Not the same as the Millennium Falcon of Han Solo. Okay, next question. Arts and literature. To reflect his Filipino identity by wearing a traditional garment, national artist and independent film pioneer Eric De Guia also legally changed his name to what? Aian?
Kidlat Tahimik.
Yes, he changed his name to Kidlat Tahimik. Eric De Guia. His most famous film was Perfumed Nightmare. Okay? Mababangong bangungot. And here's a trivia for you UP students. He was once the student council president of UP Diliman. Okay? Eric De Guia. Next question. I'll read the question twice. This is in mathematics and logic. Okay? Maria has twice as many brothers as sisters. Her brother Miguel has the same number of brothers as sisters. How many siblings are there in their family? Again, Javier?
8.
Wrong. Again, Maria has twice as many brothers as sisters. Her brother Miguel has the same number of brothers as sisters. How many siblings are there in their family? Gabby?
7.
Yes, 7 is the correct answer. So 3 girls plus 4 boys is 7 siblings. 7 all in all. Very close, Javier. You chose 8. Just one more than the correct answer. Question number 11. Geography and nature. On its 25th anniversary in 2023, Google revealed that the most searched world landmark of all time is what European attraction? Javier.
Eiffel Tower.
Eiffel Tower is correct. 2,000 points for you, Javier. Would you know the second most searched?
Architrium.
It's the Colosseum, actually, in Rome. Colosseum. And third would be the Buckingham Palace, okay? So remember, the Eiffel Tower, as of today, who knows? In a year, there might be a different answer to that question. All right, that brings us now to our last question. And this is for 2,000 points. Javier, Gabby, your chance to catch up with Aian, who's way out in the lead with 12,000 points. But we all know what's going to happen next after this round. It's going to be 3,000 pesos for every correct answer, plus that 6,000 peso or 6,000 point Bilyonaryo booster. Okay? So it's all up in the air, but let's see where it goes with this final question. General information. According to the Oxford University Press, what is the most commonly used word in spoken English? Javier?
Mago.
Wrong. Most commonly used word in spoken English. Aian?
The.
The is correct. That is correct. The. Most sentences start with the, and therefore, the is indeed the most used English word, at least according to the Oxford University Press. B, two of, those are close to the, in the top of the list. All right, interesting competition that's unfolding before our eyes. Aian is in the lead with 14,000 points. That's 14,000 pesos already in the bag, in the wallet for you. Gabby has 6,000 pesos already with him. Javier has 2,000 pesos with him. But of course, as I said earlier, you never know who's gonna move on to the semifinal round and our bonus round, because up next, we're gonna give out 3,000 points now for every correct answer. All right, it's only gonna get more intense from here on, so we'll find out who our next grand finalist will be when BilyonaryoQuizB returns right after this break. Keep it here. Welcome back to BilyonaryoQuizB's second semi-final episode. Now, these three very sharp minds are in a critical race for today's top prizes and a slot in our grand finals. But before that, let's get to know our semi-finalists a little better. But even before that, I just want to say this is turning out to be a really exciting competition. It doesn't reflect in the scores, because obviously Aian's is on top with 14,000, Gabby 6,000, Javier 2,000. But if you're here where I am, you're seeing them pressing the buzzer at almost exactly the same time. But of course, only one presses that buzzer ahead, even by a nanosecond, and that's who we call. Okay? So let's find out a little bit more about you guys. Javier, of course, it's not your first time here. You are a champion in the previous week. But you know what? What really impresses me is that your choice of course in college, and this is policy and development, right? So I hope to see you soon, maybe solving some of our country's problems. If you were to choose one on top of your list of priorities, what would it be?
Of course, that will be poverty, because poverty has been the root cause of everything, root cause of hunger, corruption, malnutrition, and all the problems in the Philippines that lingered since ancient times, and that has infected our people's society.
All right, well said, well said. That is exactly the priority of every administration, and they should take that seriously, right? And hopefully, you remind them about that every now and then. Okay, Javier, thank you. Aian, now, another interesting about you, of course, apart from your choice of biotech, animal biotech, and we can go on and on about that, is your choice of hobbies, okay? Last week, we said it was flower pinning, is it? Flower pressing, insect pinning. Okay, those are like a little strange, but not entirely unusual. The other one I just found out was urban exploration. What exactly is that?
Urban exploration is where you enter abandoned or derelict places.
So you're a trespasser.
Oh,
yeah.
we have to secure a permit. Yeah. So,
and what exactly is the thrill in that?
The thrill in that is that you get to discover things about places, like the people that lived in there, the history of the place. That it's an interesting thing to think about and, well, meditate.
Any
about.
tips for people who might want to do the thing? A place to go?
Number one is safety, and remember the golden rule is leave nothing but footprints. That's it.
Okay.
Make sure to not disturb the place.
All right, that's a nice way of putting it. Aian, thank you. Gabby, all right, you were last week's champion, and now you're here. Now the funny thing is, Aian is a good friend of yours, right?
Yeah.
And it was Aian who convinced you to join, or was it the other way around?
The former.
Okay, so in other words, you're both experienced in these science quiz bees,
Yes.
right? The technology quiz bees. I mean, I want to go back, not to unearth any traumas in the past, but is there any nagging question in your mind that you missed before, or maybe the reverse, question that you'll never forget because that's what made you win?
Actually, there was a contest in UP. It was by pair, and my classmate was my partner. And then they asked us, in a normal QWERTY keyboard, what is 2 keys below letter U?
Wait, no answer. Javier, would you know? Aian? Okay, go ahead.
We were given 10 seconds to answer the question, and I was troubled in how I would answer it. And the way I answered it is that I put the whole keyboard in the whiteboard, and then that's how I determined the answer.
And you got it right.
Yeah, letter M.
How long did it take you to do that?
Like 8 seconds.
Oh, wow, that's pretty quick. So what was the answer?
Letter M.
Letter M is under,
2 keys below U.
and that was the winning question? One
yeah.
of the. Wow. Hopefully, you'll have a similar situation here. But of course, you'll have to deal with Aian, you're one of your good friends, if you win over him. And Javier, of course, encouraging you to catch up. You have 2,000 points, Gabby 6,000, Aian 14,000. That's where we are at the start of our round. Let's listen in to our regulations. In round 2 of our semifinals episode, the game mechanics remain the same, but a 3,000 peso price tag now accompanies each difficult question. With the exception, of course, of the semifinals Bilyonaryo booster, which is worth 6,000 pesos. Double the amount, double the thrill. That's an automatic 6,000 pesos that could literally be a game changer for one lucky contestant. At the end of this knockout round, 2 contestants with the lowest scores will be eliminated. If round 2 ends in a tie, the game goes into a sudden death tiebreaker, where the first contestant to answer correctly wins. Let's see who comes out on top of round 2 of the BilyonaryoQuizB semifinals. Let's begin round number 2 with a question in history, and we're looking at first Filipinas, or Filipina firsts. In 1973, Cecilia Muñoz Palma. Yes, Javier.
Associate Justice.
Of?
Supreme Court.
Correct. Associate Justice of the Supreme Court. In 1973, Cecilia Muñoz Palma became the first female to be appointed to what Philippine judicial position? Associate Justice of the Supreme Court, or Justice of the Supreme Court. Question number 2 is science and technology. We're looking at scientific greats. It's a picture quiz. Let's take a look at our screens. What titan of technology? Javier.
Tesla.
Okay, there's only one Tesla. Nikola Tesla. All right, that's correct. We do allow that, yes. What titan of technology is associated with this iconic image from 1899? That is, of course, Nikola Tesla and his huge magnifying transmitter. Actually, a trick, an optical illusion in a way. It's a double exposure. But of course, this was his pioneering effort. Okay, so you have 8,000 points now. That's how quickly the fortunes change. Gabby, 6,000. That's how fast you can catch up. Aian, of course, you want to protect your lead. Let's go to our next question. Question number 3 is arts and literature. Literary terms. Derived from French, what term describes a novel in which actual people or events are represented in disguised form, as by the use of fictitious names? It literally means novel with a key. 5 seconds. Time is up. Novel with a key, French, roman à clef. Roman à clef. That's a tough one. But this is the second round after all. Questions are slightly more difficult than the previous one. Next question is math and logic, units of measure. If giga is a prefix for 1 billion, peta is a prefix for how much? Aian?
Quadrillion.
Quadrillion is the correct answer. Or 1 quadrillion. That's 10 raised to the 15th power. All right, this is a seesaw battle now. This is getting very interesting. Let's move on to our next question. In geography and nature, natural wonders this time, okay? Natural wonders. Discovered under the Philippine Sea in 2019. Gabby? Our geology student.
Palawan Underground River. Puerto Princesa Underground River.
Wrong. This, Aian?
Benham Rice.
Wrong. You might want to wait for me to finish this question, or you want to answer?
Finish it.
Discovered under the Philippine Sea in 2019 and measuring 150 kilometers in diameter. The world's largest volcanic caldera bears what gigantic name from Tagalog mythology? You knew this, Gabby. Javier.
Okinawa.
That's wrong. The answer is, would you know?
Apolaki.
Apulaki.
Yes, Apolaki is the correct answer. It's okay. Apolaki, son of Bathala and god of the sun and war, the giant lord Apolaki is the correct answer. Don't worry, guys. Still early in the game. Question number 6 now. General information, signs and symbols. We're looking for signs and symbols. Okay, so in astrology, how many signs of the Western zodiac are represented by arthropods? Of course, you have to know what an arthropod is to answer the question. Gabby?
3.
Wrong. Aian?
1.
Wrong. Javier?
8.
No. Just 2. 2. Cancer and Scorpio. So there are only 2 that you think about it. Cancer, Scorpio. Next question. This is politics and economics for 3,000 points again. In explaining his pragmatic economic philosophy. All right, Javier.
Adam Smith.
Wrong. Let me finish, or steal if you want to. In explaining his pragmatic economic philosophy, what Chinese leader said, it doesn't matter whether a cat is black or white as long as it catches mice. Aian?
Deng Xiaoping.
Yes, it was Deng Xiaoping. And Deng Xiaoping was credited with moving China away from a centrally planned economy into a market or socialist market economy. Okay? Deng Xiaoping, or just simply Deng. Next question. Science and technology. In physics, what term refers to the minimum amount of... Javier?
Activation energy.
No, that's not correct. You took the risk. In physics, what term refers to the minimum amount of fissionable material needed to sustain a nuclear chain reaction? Aian?
Critical mass.
It is critical mass. Which means when a neutron hits an atom, it splits and releases more neutrons that in turn trigger further fission, so on and so on down the line. All right, question number 9 is a Bilyonaryo booster question for 6,000 points. I'm not sure if it's possible for Gabby or Javier to catch up, but let's see, to take home more cash with you. Our booster question is in classical music. Often heard at graduation rites. The triumphal march is from the opera Aida by what Italian composer? Who is the Italian composer of the Aida? Javier?
Halden.
No. Gabby?
Claude Debussy.
No. He's not Italian, he's French.
Puccini.
Well, close enough. He's Italian. An opera composer as well. Giuseppe Verdi. The Triumphal March. Next time you march in your graduation, and it's the Aida Triumphal March, which was set in Egypt, by the way. Yep, that's gonna haunt you forever. Next question. Question number 10. Math and logic. Mental math is all you need here. I will read the question twice. 2 cyclists travel at speeds in the ratio of 4:5. If the faster cyclist is going 40 kilometers per hour. All right, that's very good. Javier?
50 kilometers.
How many?
50.
50 kilometers, no. Gabby?
200 kilometers.
No, I can finish the question for Aian. If the faster cyclist is going 40 kilometers per hour, how fast is a slower cyclist? Aian, come on.
32.
Yes, 32. That was right exactly at the time, 32. 40 over 5 is equal to 8, and of course 8 times 4 gives you 32. Aian is way out in the lead, but of course, Gabby, Javier, you've done fantastic so far. You're up against some really quick competition, very fast with the buzzer as well. You're all buzzing at the same time, but you can take home more cash with you. Let's go to our second to the last question. Nature and geography. We're looking at famous animals here, okay? Who was the first biological offspring? Javier?
Dolly.
No. Who was the first biological offspring of a pair of avians named Jola and Junior? Jola and Junior. Animal biotech. UPLB. Okay. Your teachers will be hounding you for not answering this. Pag-asa. Pag-asa. The first Philippine eagle, bred and hatched in captivity in 1992, was the first biological offspring of this pair. And that brings us to our last question. And this is in general information, the origin of words. Okay? What type of reference work or compendium got its name from a Greek phrase that means circle of knowledge or learning? What type of reference work or compendium of knowledge got its name from a Greek phrase that means circle of knowledge or learning. Gabby?
Encyclopedia.
Yes, it is encyclopedia. 3,000 points for you. Amazing, amazing. Congratulations to Aian. But Javier, I have to thank you so much. That was a valiant effort. You did fantastic. Every user will be proud. Same with you. Same with you, Gabby. Same with you.
Thank you.
You know, if you beat this guy over here, he would have regretted telling you to join the competition, right? But of course, we only have one champion who'll move on to the semifinals, and it is Aian, of course. And whoa, I'm a little nervous because this was like going so fast. The scores don't reflect just how tight this was. So indeed, it was a very, very thrilling round. Now, after some incredibly close calls, we have a clear winner who is guaranteed a spot in the grand finals, and that is Aian over here. But the thrills don't stop here. Another exciting part of today's semifinal is still up when BilyonaryoQuizB returns. Welcome back to BilyonaryoQuizB. Tonight we've seen brilliance, we've seen perseverance, and the kind of competition that keeps us on the edge of our seats. At least I was on the edge of my seat, so to speak. Now here we are with Aian, who is our second grand finalist, and he's ready to face another hurdle, our lightning fast bonus round. You've been here before, Aian, but of course, for the sake of our viewers, let's listen into what the mechanics are.
Welcome to the Bilyonaryo bonus round, which is brought to you by Playtime Cares. Our finalist has two new opponents to defeat, a 60-second clock, and a set of 10 questions worth 4,000 pesos each. As in our previous bonus rounds, the contestant may take their time answering, or say pass, and move on to the next question. But they must remember that in round 3, there are no do-overs. Once a question is skipped, it's discarded and will not be asked again. Let's wish our contestants luck as they begin the BilyonaryoQuizB semifinals bonus round.
All right, you have how much? 26,000 pesos so far. If you get this all correct perfectly, you get another 40,000. That's a whopping amount of money to take home with you. But of course, the grand finals is waiting for you. But let me just ask you, Aian, how does it feel getting this far?
I did not expect to get this far, to be honest.
Right,
But
you're up against some tough competition.
yes, but now that I'm here, I guess I have to do my best.
And you're doing it with your best voice possible.
Oh, yes, I'll try.
All right. All right, so you know the drill. So I'm going to ask you to look at the screen over here. We have 3 categories. Each one, of course, is vaguely titled, but clues are embedded within each. Is it headline makers you prefer, The Empire Strikes Back, or Test Your IQ?
I would like to take The Empire Strikes Back.
What do you think we're looking for in Empire Strikes Back? Star Wars?
I'm thinking Star Wars, but I'm also thinking empires in history.
You are correct. Empires in history, and that's quite easy. So let's get ready for this round. So 10 questions about famous empires throughout world history. Okay, non-fictional empires. Okay, so let's go. At its height, this empire stretched from the Yellow Sea to the Caspian Sea. Yellow Sea.
Mongol Empire.
The empire built aqueducts and massive road networks.
Roman Empire.
It was the largest empire in pre-Columbian America.
The Inca Empire.
Its rulers included Cyrus the Great and Xerxes I.
Persian Empire.
For this empire, chocolate was more precious than gold.
Aztec Empire.
The name of this Southeast Asian empire means shining victory.
Majapahit Empire.
This vast empire ended with the sudden death of its monarch at age 32. One of the largest
Macedonian
empires.
Empire.
It was also known as the Eastern Roman Empire.
Byzantine Empire.
African Empire ruled by the super wealthy Mansa Musa.
Mali Empire.
Macau was a former colony of this European empire.
Portuguese Empire.
At its height, nope, we're done with 10 questions. Let's review your questions. Remember, this time it's 4,000 pesos each. Okay, at its height, from the Yellow Sea all the way to the Caspian Sea, that's right, this is the Mongol Empire. From China all the way to Eastern Europe, or to the Balkans, that's right. This empire built aqueducts and massive road networks. You said?
Roman.
Of course, Roman Empire. It was the largest empire in pre-Columbian America. In the Andes, Incan Empire is correct. Its rulers included Cyrus the Great, Xerxes I, among many other famous rulers. The Persian empires or the Iranian empires, Achaemenid Empire, also correct. All right, this was tricky. The name of the Southeast Asian empire means shining victory. You said Madhya Empire.
Yes.
It is the Srivijaya Empire. Yes. Now, this vast empire ended with the sudden death of its monarch at age 32, of course, Alexander the Great. Macedonian Empire. So far, so good. Just one that wasn't correct. It was also known as the Eastern Roman Empire. Yes, the Byzantine Empire or Byzantium, or the Eastern Roman Empire. African Empire ruled by Mansa Musa, known for his gold, hoard of gold. Mali is correct. And Macau was a former colony of the Portuguese Empire. Indeed it was. Is that 9 out of 10? Wow! 36,000 to 26,000, 62,000 pesos! Ayan! Pahingi naman ng pera. Okay. Blow off mamaya. Okay. Wow. So how does it feel? Apart from the money, of course, but just moving on to the grand finals.
Oh, it feels good. This is going to be a challenge, but I'm looking forward to that challenge.
Oh, I'm going to be looking forward to it as well and see how you do in our grand finals. Wow. Amazing. That was truly an electrifying semifinals episode. So a huge thanks, of course, to our contestants for showing their brilliance and determination, and to our fantastic audience for cheering them on. We hope to see you all on the BilyonaryoQuizB official Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter accounts that you see on your screens. Now, don't miss next week's episode as the battle for the grand prize heats up. Stay tuned to BilyonaryoQuizB. Good night, and keep striving for excellence. Never forget, this is our motto, and you must remember it all the time. Knowledge is your greatest asset in life. Congratulations.